welcome back to it. Yes, it is your feel-good breakfast show, Expresso. We're live here on S3. When you hear that music and you see Grant Hines getting all so serious and amped up to get into it, you know what time it is. It's a Thursday morning, and we open up to some gaming, to some tech, some interesting stuff. And let's talk about this one, Elden Ring. Any gamer will know that that's the hype of the moment in terms of what's being anticipated. But it's being released from FromSoftware, which people who know FromSoftware will tell you that they are a stable of extremely challenging games with an incredible following because how hard they are to play, right? All the games that come out of there. And Grant Hines joins us in the house this morning to tell us all about it. FromSoftware.
So before we talk about the actual game, because Elden Ring is creating this hype around what, you know, this genre is.
Yeah.
You know, and remember last year when we had our most anticipated games of the year, this was on that list.
It was on the list.
So there's a couple of reasons. We'll get into those reviews, but leading up to this, there's actually a huge history. And the genre of this game is called the Souls game. So people in the know know about the Souls games. There are these very challenging games. They do not handhold you. They throw you into an experience. Do you remember games when you grew up like playing at school and you just put it in your PlayStation 1 and you didn't have a rule book? There was no internet.
No, you had to figure it out. You had to figure it out.
And also game mechanics were kind of like raw at the beginning. So that's where the evolution, or at least the soul of the Soul series.
But here's the thing: is that of course we know that FromSoftware's, they actually began around 1994, right? But they only hit cult status only in the last decade, starting with Dark Souls, which you just mentioned. So let's talk about that evolution. Where do they come from? How do they hit cult status, and what's that look like?
Yeah, so they've actually been around since 1986, but they've done like a whole bunch of smaller games, Armored Core, which is those mech games, but they really came into their own when they made, in my opinion, when they made Dark Souls. And the game director, Hidetaka Miyazaki, he is very well known for having a philosophy when it comes to game design that when you die in a game, it must mean something. It's not just punishment. It must be this kind of, you get better, you improve. When you respawn, when you come back to life in the game, and you have another go at that boss fight, you are more knowledgeable, you're better at taking them on. Oh, wow. Which is a very nice game philosophy, but it is extremely hard. So the Dark Souls there's Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3. They are the games that kind of like kicked it off, and they're like super popular. Then they took a new genre, a new turn when it came to Bloodborne. But Bloodborne is was a new game on PlayStation 4 that came out. That had the same genetic makeup. So although it was in a new setting and it had like this nearly, I want to say like vampire-esque, like gothic feel. Yeah,
but the DNA of it was true to the origins of it.
So when people talk about the Souls games, they kind of throw like they throw it into the mix, which is really cool. Nice. And then obviously there's Demon Souls, which came out a little bit later.
Wow.
Yeah, FromSoftware is like a very important game publisher because of this, and they kind of bucked the trend with these games because we're used to games hand-holding us. When you pick up a game, you were saying a little bit earlier, when you pick up a game at a braai, you can sit down and play it.
You can be casual. You can play games in various settings, but it sounds like all the FromSoftware games are not those kind of games. No. You're gonna have to really commit in the most incredible way.
You don't play them at a friend's house.
No, you don't play it while you're waiting for the horse to brown up.
Then one of the other one of their follow-ups was in a Japanese setting, which was called Sakura. And the Sakura, I think we did on the show actually as well. It was also very interesting because again, it's a Japanese motif. It's like you're a samurai. And like in feudal Japan, also fantasy-like in appearance, but it still has that same genetic DNA. So you play it for a while and you can't. Actually, it's got a funny name. It's called Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice. And you know, in these games, you're going to die a lot.
Also, if you're hearing things like Shadows Die Twice, I mean, you really have to prepare yourself.
Fans of these games are so excited for this. And if you haven't heard of the Souls games or what FromSoftware have done, you're going to be really interested in Elden Ring if you're into that old school challenging experience. And we're going to play it shortly, so really excited.
Well, there we go. Grant Hines has set the tone for what the conversation is going to be around Elden Ring. It's FromSoftware, so you already do know what to expect. Maybe use this time to read up on FromSoftware and maybe the heritage of the games that they have laid out to us. But Grant Hines has whet our appetites for this one. We'll catch you a bit later with Elden Ring.